Hey gang, so today we are gonna go throw some snowshoes on, throw a pack on, go take a walk in the woods, maybe find a place to set up a tarp and have a little campfire, and yeah, maybe have a cup of hot chocolate. Just go spend some time in the woods today. Well, that is interesting. There's a lure in the tree, a fishing lure in a tree in the middle of a swamp. Isn't that something? You never know what you're going to see. I'll be honest with you guys. With this pack on, whew, felt like I would be doing better what I'm doing. Probably only 100 yards in. So not a long ways. But already feeling it. But we don't have to go real far. We're just looking for a place to sit down and have a little campfire. That's all. I've been seeing some rabbit tracks. I don't believe I've seen any wolf tracks yet. Coyote tracks for sure. But I'm walking this old logging road. I don't know where it goes. Never been back here before. But if we find a decent place to set up a tarp and have a little campfire, that's what we're gonna do. The snow is a little deeper out here than I thought it was going to be. Which is fine. That's why we got the snowshoes. Started off pretty thick, but terrain's opening up a little bit now. Lots of logs across this whole logging road. They probably haven't used this in a very long time. But let's go ahead and keep on walking. Find ourselves a place to have a little campfire. Oh shoot, it's gonna be a little one. I forgot my saw, and I'm not going back to the truck. So whatever we can break for branches is what we'll use. But let's go ahead and keep on walking. Oh, well, gang. So, I didn't bring in my saw. That was a mistake. Or a hatchet. Either one of them would have been fine. So, but without the hatchet, I don't have a way to pound stakes and to set the bottom of my tarp. And the wind's not blowing bad out here, so I don't think we're going to set up a tarp. But we can still have a little campfire. A little hot chocolate. So, I think this little spot right here, kind of overlooking a swamp down there. We got hardwoods behind us and a hill. You never know, maybe we'll see. I've seen some bunny tracks, but I haven't. Nothing to get excited about, that's for sure. And nothing fresh. So, yeah. Probably about between a quarter mile and a half mile in. Getting a little more tired than I thought I was gonna, but this pack is fairly heavy. I don't know what it weighs, but I got my bigger chair. I broke my little backpacking chair, so I got a bigger chair strapped to the bottom of the pack. That thing's fairly heavy, probably 5 pounds, between 5 and 7 pounds. And then I got a small stove in there, which we're probably not going to use a stove. We'll just make a campfire on the ground. And they got some water, hot chocolate. I'm gonna cheat. They got some fire starting sticks to get the fire going. So just a few items. So the pack is a little heavier. It's not awfully heavy, but today was kind of a test. I wanted to see how it would feel carrying a pack and putting on a little bit of distance. Just get a little walking, test my own heart and see how it felt working it a little bit. So, well, I'm going to get this pack off, gather up some wood, set up the chair, and we'll get a little campfire going. We'll just hang out a little bit in the woods and have a campfire. All right, let's get to work. Oh no. All right, gang. Oh, so we got a little bit of a walk in, somewhere between a quarter mile, half mile, and that's not a lot. But you gotta remember, I got congestive heart failure, and that's one of the things I want to talk about today. So, my congestive heart failure, things have been going pretty good. The first 4 or 5 months after my surgery, man, I just felt like I was hit by a freight train. I was always wore out. I had no energy. I was super mad. I thought they had screwed up on my on my surgery. But then I hit about the 6-month part and I started gaining some energy. So I was pretty happy about that. And then, that being said, last year I didn't shoot any real tournaments. I would participate as a guest, but I just didn't have enough energy that I wanted to do and actually, compete. This year my energy level's way up. So I've been wanting to compete, and I've been competing. Now we have a state tournament I did a couple weeks ago, and I even checked this week to see if the results have been in, to see where placings were, and still haven't seen the placings for that one. But we did the Meyer State game last weekend, and I did really well on that. The 3D shoot, I felt like I had a terrible shoot. Oh man, I was a little frustrated on a couple of my shots, but I ended up placing a 3rd overall there. And then on the second day was Vegas target shoot, and man, I had a good shoot. Had a couple things where I felt like I definitely could have done better, but I ended up bronzing. And it was funny because I was going to leave right after the shoot, but then they said they were going to be doing awards right away, so I was like, I'll stick around just to show support. And because I know the guys that I'm shooting against, and so they called my name for that shoot and said I took a bronze. And even the lady that was put on the tournament, she's like, I'll bet you didn't see that coming, did you, John? I was like, no, I did not. I was pretty excited that I bronzed on both days against some really good competition. And then in fact, the day then I went, so that was Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday a buddy of mine came up from Wisconsin, and we've been snowmobiling the last couple days, and we ran into one of the guys that also shoots competition. I did the morning shoots, and he had done, or I did the afternoon shoots. He'd done the morning shoots. And anyways, we ran into him. He was trying to get his snowmobile load on the trailer, but it was broke down. So we ended up helping him load his snowmobile on the trailer, and he asked me if I shot, because we didn't see each other. And I told him, yeah, I shot, and I told him where I placed. And on Saturday, now he's a really good shooter. He goes to like national events, and there's a couple guys that do it, and he's one of them that does. And he told me what his score was. If I would have had 3 more points higher, he took the silver. If I would have got 3 more points higher, I would have actually taken the silver on Sunday. So it feels good to go from last year, where I was way too exhausted to shoot an actual tournament and be competitive, to this year I'm up with the guys that travel to national events. So that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty proud of myself, and pretty proud of this pacemaker that I have, because without that, there's no way I could shoot as good as I've been shooting. So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys, that that new pacemaker, I was really disgusted my first 5 months or so, but things have picked up, my energy levels picked up, and now I can actually shoot an actual tournament and not fatigue out. And then I get to be, I'm getting to the point where I'm competitive with my age group with the guys that shoot national events. So pretty freaking cool, gang. Pretty freaking cool. Anyways, I'm gonna tend to this fire real quick. We'll get back with you guys in a little bit. Alright, gang, well that was weird. My camera, and this might go, this might be interesting for the Bigfoot people and the different things you might think, but so there may or may not be Bigfoots. I'm not going to say there is, I'm not going to say there isn't. Les Stroud did a real interesting series on it. Luke from the Outdoor Gear Review, he did a neat little series on looking for Bigfoot. So anyways, I was looking online. I was watching the Les Stroud stuff. I was looking online to see what possible like official Bigfoot reportings there have been up here. And there's like on the Bigfoot research page or whatever, maybe I'll put a link to it. But supposedly up in this area, the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, there's been like 44 reported sightings. And right in this general area, within probably 20 miles, there was a handful. And I have been thinking about doing a series on when I go camping out, just kind of looking or paying attention or listening. Because I said this before, when you're in the woods long enough, so you hear things or see things that sometimes don't seem to fit. At one time when I was doing a camp out by my parents' place, back behind their property, and there's lots of wilderness back there, where I was woken up by what sounded like 2x4s or 4x, lumber slapping together. That was really, really strange. While I was making the hot chocolate, I was hearing from that direction like wood knocking. And then I had got the video, I got the camera going. After I got the chocolate done, I was sitting down, I was going to share that story, and I was talking to the camera, and I know I had it on, and I had heard something from that direction. Anyways, then I kept thinking I hear something. I was saying I hope the camera is picking it up, and I finally grabbed the camera because I was going to point it in that direction, because I thought I saw something. Now, it's a swamp. There could be wolves or coyotes, or right now there should be no bears. They should be hibernating. But I thought I saw something like through the, it's thick, so it'd be hard to tell. But I grabbed the camera, kind of freaked me out. I grabbed the camera and I pointed in that direction. And when I looked at it, the camera was off. Hopefully it's not off this time when I'm talking. But anyways, so my point I was going to say is, one of the things I was thinking about doing was maybe over a course of a year or whatever, go to the different locations where there's been reported sightings and do a camp out and just see. I don't know if anybody would be interested in seeing that and participating. And no, I'm not expecting to see anything. But there's been times, and like I said, when I had the camera off and I had the water on, one of the things they talk about is that wood knock, dunk, dunk, like 3 knocks off in a distance that way. And maybe because I was thinking about telling the story, it has me kind of freaked out. Could have been just woodpeckers, maybe. But I know what woodpeckers sound like. They don't just do, it's not a loud thud, thud, thud. It's, you know what woodpeckers sound like. But then when I was talking, when the camera was for whatever reason off, when I know I had it on, I got really freaked out because I was hearing something over there. In that direction. And I ain't saying it was close. But then I thought, and see, the area where I thought I saw some type of something. And it was probably nothing. But I grabbed the camera because I wanted to point it in that direction to see if I could see it later through the camera, what I was potentially seeing. Whatever. Because we're pretty far back here. And there's been sightings there's like 2 of them within 5 miles of this spot that I'm in, or I'm at. So would you be interested in me possibly doing a series of going to different areas where they had reported sightings, or get as close to where I can, because if it's more of a public area, or private, not public, but private area where there's no camping, but get close to that area where I could camp out. Adds another dynamic besides the wolves that are up here, eh? Oh. But I was surprised to see that there was, on this actual like Bigfoot reporting page, that there were 44 people who reported in to that page. And then they were followed up by, somebody from that organization for an interview and, not necessarily confirm that they saw them, but just have an interview with the people. So pretty interesting. Now, myself, I would love to think that there's Bigfoots out there. I would love to think that. But like up here in the UP, even though it's really remote, we got logging operations going everywhere. We got hunters all over the place. We've got trail cameras everywhere. There's ORV and snowmobile trails everywhere. Like, I personally believe up here it would be pretty hard for such a creature to be hidden, because somebody would see tracks, like in wintertime, all the different snowmobile trails that go throughout the backcountry. People would see tracks, right? Or the trail cameras would pick them up. Like, wow, how can there be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of trail cams out there, and nobody's picking up Bigfoot? So if he was real, or if it was real, especially, in this area. Now maybe like up in Saskatchewan and up in Canada where there's no population and there's plenty of game, and, there might be a way to sustain themselves and stay hidden. Or maybe in the mountains in the west, I could see. But in the upper peninsula of Michigan, even though it's remote and we don't have a big population, there's enough outdoor activities and people outdoors, from logging to hunting to fishing to trapping to snowmobiling to ATVing to hiking. It's all the different stuff, canoeing, and you would think there'd be more reports Who knows? I think it's interesting though. And like I said, maybe when I don't know. Maybe I had myself freaked out because I was going to talk about it. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm not too far from one of the roads. Like I said, I'm only probably about a half mile in the woods. But the nearest anything is probably 5 miles from here. It's pretty remote back here. Might even be more than 5 miles. Like when I say 5 miles, circumference, you know what I mean? So, but out in this area, there's a ton of logging. So I don't know. Would that be something that you'd be interested in me doing a small series on? I have 44 sightings. Obviously, like in this area, there's been a handful, so I wouldn't have to go too far to do different campouts. But even the places I've been, the last winter campout I did, that was within 5 miles of one of the sightings. And this is probably within 10 miles of that sighting. But then there's from this spot, going in that direction, there was a sighting probably within 5 miles. Maybe 10. Between 5 and 10 miles. I'd have to look at the map again to see exactly what it was. But not just like but read, like I would read the different accounts. So we'd actually share what was seen or heard or whatever, and go from there. Would that be something you'd be interested in? I think it'd be kind of fun. Read accounts and see what we can see and hear, and specifically just paying attention for the different signs that people say are Bigfoot signs. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. I don't know that it would be fruitful, but I think it'd be fun. Plus another excuse to get out and see what the heck is shaking. But how weird is that? So I'm going to say this again. I heard what sounded like wood knocking in that direction. Then I heard it in that direction, and it literally freaked me out. And for some reason, I know I had the camera recording, but that when I grabbed the phone, it was off, and I looked to see if like it turned off while I was recording, and it did. So it didn't get none of what I was talking about because I was in a completely different direction at that time. And now it's just dead silence. Dead silence. Weird. Really, really weird. Almost gives me the heebie-jeebies. And I am not one. I've spent so much time in the forest, in the woods, camping, fishing, trapping, hunting, that I don't typically get the heebie-jeebies. But right now, I got the heebie-jeebies a little bit. Oh well. It's probably just because, like I said, I was reading them reports, and then I was gonna talk about it, and I did talk about it. But why is it until I was gonna talk about it, mention it, like why would I know that I'm gonna talk about it today, and then all of a sudden that's weird. I'm just gonna say that's weird. So I spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours, I've never heard that. You know, except like I told you, I was woken up that one time by what sounded like wood slapping together. So was that actually a wood knock I was hearing? Because I was sleeping, I was equating it to, it woke me up. But aside from that, I never really heard anything. But then today I was going to have a conversation about it. Weird. Really, really weird. Anyways, my hot chocolate's gone. Campfire's about burnt out. I think I'm going to head out of here. I'm glad I was able to give you guys a health report, have a little conversation, and just get out in the woods a little bit and enjoy just being out. It is nice to get out. And I've been busy. I've been, like I said, 2 days of snowmobiling. I've been having tournaments the last couple weekends and the next couple weekends coming up. So I apologize for not getting any campouts in, but it's just been super, super busy. I haven't had time to get out camping and get this other stuff done, especially when I got people up and whatever. So we'll get back to it though, and maybe when we do, we'll talk about the guy with the big feet a little bit more. All right, gang, we'll see you on the next adventure. Thanks for coming to have a cup of hot chocolate with me in the woods.